All right, welcome in everybody to the Can We Kick It podcast. I'm your co-host Mike, along with Chuck here.
Hey,
What's going on, Chuck?
not much, brother. Just coming to you live from the Hampton Inn in downtown Baton Rouge, baby.
Tropical Baton Rouge. You went from tropical Nebraska to tropical Baton Rouge.
It's been nice weather this week.
Yeah.
Been running not in wherever I was, Iowa, Nebraska, whatever, over the weekend, but then come back and Baton Rouge been like 50 to 70. And so enjoying some nice runs along the levee and the river
Nice.
after work, and so headed back towards Houston tomorrow. So
Now, it is
yeah,
funny because
yeah.
you're over there and it's crawfish season, yes? And
It is.
you had some coworkers over who I could tell by the photo was their first time eating crawfish, and that was quite funny.
Yeah, so a few people first time eating crawfish, so we had to teach them how to pinch, twist, and pull. So
Yeah,
I don't
the
think
work
I
to
don't think
meat
we got it.
ratio throws people off.
Yeah, I don't think we got any of anybody to suck the heads,
Oh,
the newbies,
classic.
but
Yeah.
so yeah, but we went through like 30 pounds of crawfish, so we tore it up.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. It's nice. Can't beat crawfish in Louisiana. If you had to guess, how much per pound do you think we paid?
I think I remember you telling me. I forgot though, but I'm gonna say it was like $4.
Oh, yeah, 4.99.
Four
We're
ninety
like
nine. Yeah, yeah.
we got them in Houston, like around, I think Mardi Gras night, that Tuesday, it was like 8.99 a pound.
Yeah. Nothing
Yeah,
compared. Yeah.
so I don't know. I haven't seen them in Houston in a while, like less than like 6.99 a pound.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess you got transport costs to get them there from like Lake Charles area.
Yeah. Us supply chain folks, there's added first mile cost to all this stuff.
Yeah, it must be shipping LTL. Some uh, it's a cost per pound of cost per crawfish, CPC.
Yeah.
Uh,
CPC. That's awesome. Well,
I, how you
you know,
doing?
it's yeah, good man. It's had this weekend off from work, so got caught up on some TV. There's a lot of stuff that's just now hitting. First of all, watch the Oscars, and freaking childhood like me was fully acknowledged in Brendan Fraser winning best Oscar or best actor, and then I'm gonna mess up his name probably, but Ke Huy Quan, who was Short Round from fucking Indiana Jones, won best male supporting actor.
Oh, for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Paramount.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I watched it on a plane and I fell asleep like 3 times in it, so it was all disjointed. I mean, the movie is very disjointed, kind of, anyways. But I missed bits and pieces.
Yep.
But what was your first Brendan Fraser movie?
Well, the time frame of me watching him is messy because I've seen it's between The Mummy, Insano Man, and he made a cameo in Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my two, Encino Man and Son-in-Law.
Yeah.
That was when Pauly Shore was big.
Yeah, that was when he was
You,
like rocking. Like
yeah,
Pauly
you
Shore
were
wants to do a movie. Here's $20 million. Yeah.
yeah, you were probably a youngster when those
Yeah.
came out, because I think I
Yeah.
was like in junior high or high school.
Still hilarious. Love those movies. Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. But
Um,
I know I texted you when Brendan Fraser won, and I text my sister, and she, of course, like loves Insano Man. So like she like immediately turned it on to watch him win. So that was a great thing.
nice.
Yeah, watched that. Watched Mando, which was good. When he went to Mandalore. I'm not going to give anything away because you've already seen it.
Mm.
Watched Ted Lasso. So the premiere of Ted Lasso. I think you just watched that, right?
Yeah, I just watched it before you came on.
Nice. So season 3 premiere. What were your thoughts on it?
Uh, I haven't really had time to process it, but to me, it was okay.
Yeah.
I I don't think I haven't like rewatched the last couple seasons in a while since season two ended. So I think maybe I just wasn't in the mood because nothing was really landing for me.
Yeah.
I think I get irritated in the beginning how they pick. They're like, oh, West Ham's predicted to finish in the top four, which I know they're forever blowing bubbles, but they never picked to finish in the top four.
No.
So I, it's it's like okay, everybody in the UK would be laughing as like Arsenal, Man City, Man United, uh, Chelsea, Tottenham, the typical top six teams. Oh, Liverpool, yeah, sorry,
Liverpool.
Liverpool, like would be like West Ham wouldn't be picked to finish above eighth
Yeah.
in anything. So because they got a first time coach who's never coached before and was a kit man, he's a wunderkind.
Just because
So
like Rupert Mannion bought the team and now like Nate, who like has never been a head coach in his like life ever, is now gonna take him into a top four. That's like saying like what was the team Bobby Boucher was on? Western
S
Louisiana State University. Like they
S
get a first year head
S
coach.
SESLU Mud Dogs, Southeast
Mud Dogs.
Louisiana State
That's like saying
University
they
Mud
got
Dogs.
like a first time head coach and they're gonna like make it to the playoffs in college
No,
football.
no, I think it's even more like I don't know what's the middle of the road baseball team, like the Twins or the White Sox who finished like 85 and 79 and
Yeah.
make the playoffs, but they decide, okay, we want to get rid of the coach, we're gonna hire the janitor. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it's a good story, and it's the whole. I mean, it's already setting up because Ted's like going to be super nice to Nate,
For
and
sure.
then Nate's ego is out of control. But by the end of the season, it's going to be all Nate's going to have a like breakdown, mea culpa. You know, they're going to come together as West Ham's winning the Premier League for some reason, something like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna call it that Nate screws up somehow. Rupert takes the team away from him and becomes owner manager. And then Nate is gonna like jump off a bridge into the River Thames or something. And Ted's gonna like talk him off, and then they're gonna be like best buds. But yeah, as soon as they like they went to like he went to Rupert's office in the beginning, dude, it was like smacks of like Star Wars.
That's what I was going to bring this up because it's like it's Darth Vader in the Death Star and Ted Lasso is
Luke
the
Skywalker.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Rebel Alliance or something. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just it's I don't know. It was it looked like I mean it was too long to be honest. Sorry, it's probably I'm worn out from work,
No,
but
no.
it I mean Lasso used to be like barely 30 minutes episodes and this was like 45 minutes and next week's like 47 minutes and
Wolf.
it's too like it should be short and snappy in
Yeah.
my opinion, but I don't know. I mean, sometimes they start. I mean, just going sticking to Apple TV and sticking to Bill Lawrence. Shrinking started off like super slow for me for the
Yeah.
first like half of the season. Now it's been banging like the last couple episodes. So, um, I
That
mean,
might
Ted
be
Lasso. I'm gonna like it, but
that might be Bill Lawrence like recipe is like I'm gonna set the stage, right? And then the end is gonna be a banger.
yeah,
Because that's how season 2 was for Ted Lasso. Like I remember being like, okay, it's a little over the top, and then it like mellowed out and it got to the meat, right? So I think
yeah,
the episode got funnier toward the end. But I'm excited
yeah,
to see where it goes because I think it's hilarious that it's all like Star Wars, like Rupert's office in the window is like the
yeah, yeah,
Emperor's, and it's
yeah.
like they're towing his Mini Cooper, like, and he's like,
That
"Oh,
was
let
pretty.
me
That
just take a
was
look."
pretty funny. It's like a poor person's car parked in a parking lot, and they
He's
like
a,
tow it as Nate's car,
he's
and
a Premier League manager driving a Mini Cooper. I'm like, I bet he gets paid shit.
Yeah, I mean Rupert's not going to pay him a lot, right? I mean, compared to
He
other
was
Premier League managers.
he was just a kit
Uh,
man. Why should he get
yeah,
$1 million, £1 million a year? Yeah.
I think I mean the funniest part, or well, one part is I want to know where Trent Krim is from the Independent. And they had a new reporter from the Independent, so it was a little sad
Well, you know who that
there.
was,
But
right?
who was it?
It was one of the pub boys, one of the three pub boys.
Oh,
It's
I didn't
Marcus.
notice
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, my brain is elsewhere, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
um,
laugh. Trent Krim is probably gonna do some like undercover editorial about how Rupert Mannion is like sexually harassing his entire staffers, and he's gonna rip the
he's
whole thing down. Yeah,
he's sexually harassing Nate, and like,
like on Veep.
sorry. Oh yeah, with the senator, like, and then the I forget their names,
hashtag
but
hashtag not me.
yeah, was it Jonah Ray played like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
with glasses, right? That played
yeah.
is
Jonah
this
Ryan.
his like
Yeah.
no, but no, the actor that not Jonah Ryan,
Oh
but
yeah, it was
the
Patton
balding
Oswalt.
senator with the no, there's another one where the Patton Oswalt. Okay, I thought you were talking about a different thing, but yeah, Patton Oswalt with harassing Jonah Ryan. But there's the senator from Ohio that would just talk shit to his
Oh yes.
the balding guy that was like, and then the big tall guy with glasses, and I think this Jonah Ray that plays him as the actor, but yeah, there's a lot of like
Both of
assaulting and
those
Veep.
are yeah, both of those are fantastic in terms of like employer employee fuckover. Yeah, so
Yeah.
excited to see where it
So
goes, but I'm with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good this season's back, so it's
Yeah.
nice. Um, so we'll see where it goes. Yeah, what do you think's going to happen at the end? Like, do you think there'll be another season, or do you think we'll end at this season? What do you think's going to happen?
I think from what I read, I think I saw an interview that like this story will be over. But I think they're gonna continue it on somehow, whether it's like Roy, right? Because now like Brett Goldstein and Bill Lawrence are like this, right? So
Yeah,
whether it's a Roy story or something along those lines, they're gonna keep the Ted Lasso universe going somehow. But I think Jason Sudeikis' part is probably gonna be done. He'll probably make a cameo or something, but it'll probably be it. Yeah.
yeah. I think. I mean, you started to see some of his antics wear thin, even though I mean on Rebecca, even though like she turns the tide during the press conference. But
Yeah.
I think he'll end up the season probably either voluntarily leaving to go back to the U.S. because you're building this stuff with the son
Yeah.
more. The son spent it, and then he came home and got a gift from Jake, mommy's friend,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and so he's gonna
Who's
want to go back.
Who's a famous Jake? I would love to see a hilarious cameo of it being like
Gyllenhaal,
Jake Gyllenhaal or dude, that'd be hilarious. Like he
Jake,
comes home and he's like, "Oh, who's
Jake the
Jake?" And
Snake
it's
Roberts.
and like Gyllenhaal like walks out. He's like, "What's up?" Like, yeah. I could see because you remember Ted Lasso when it was a commercial, right? He lost his job at Tottenham, and then like coach girls soccer. I got a feeling like the season is going to end with him going back and like coaching his son's soccer league.
Or he could go back and coach the NWSL like Kansas City women's team if there's
Oh yeah,
one like the Houston Dash,
the Dash. Yeah,
whatever the Kansas City team is
yeah,
for
yeah.
women's soccer.
I can see that.
Um, because they got a manager with Premier League experience.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think he'll be fired or leave. I think he'll probably leave because they
Yeah.
won't fire him. But
Let's
and then
let's be honest. In
and it,
reality, he would have been gone after the first season. Thanks for coming
yeah,
in, Ted. Appreciate all you did.
yeah,
I just hired you to fuck this team over, but you changed it for the better. We're gonna hire somebody else.
and I think that they will maybe win like the Carabao Cup or FA Cup or some one of the cups, and but then be fighting for relegation all
Yeah,
season. So I
I can
don't
see
think
that.
there's I don't know, they're making such a big deal of like, oh, top 20 or that they're 20 only because it could be 21st.
Well, yeah,
But
it's like it's like they're talking up the top 20, but West Ham is only like a top 4 team and not like, oh, the number 1 team. Like, so for me, like I could see
but
Ted like taking them to a top 10 finish or something like that, but I just can't imagine them winning it.
the other, yeah, the other thing that irritated me there was they were paying such attention to where, like, oh my god, they're ranking us, or everybody's picking us to finish last. Like, yeah, that's what happens when teams move up from the championship. Nobody says, "Oh wow, okay, this championship side who barely was promoted, oh, they're going to finish top 5.
No.
They're going to be." And I think it was like they said in the show, but a certain percentage of Premier League teams get um, that come up, they get promoted, get relegated the next year. So, I mean, it wouldn't be unprecedented.
Yeah, statistically, it happens. Yeah.
So, anyway, any other thoughts on Lasso?
Nah, good to see him back. I mean, I just he was wearing some sick Jordans. I'm always looking at like Ted Lasso shoes because he always wears Jordans. So that was cool to see.
So you're a big fan of Greg Berhalter, the U.S. men's national coach, and his sick drip?
He did have some sick drip during the World Cup. Yeah. No, it was funny. I mean, who's surprised Keely and Roy broke up, but I think we saw that coming.
Yeah,
But
that's probably better.
yeah,
Let's get into.
they gotta mix it up. It can't all be perfect, you know.
Well, and it's got to have some like Jamie Keely tension as well. Now that they're broken up, so
With his new
and
non-slick
Jamie,
back haircut.
yeah, the new butt cut and and he's all like very positive and nice, now. So
Yeah.
um, I think it's setting the stage
Yeah, for
for a
sure.
Kiwi Jamie reunion.
Oh boy. Maybe they just go into a throuple. It's
Uh,
very modern.
yeah, they should. I mean, Roy would probably be down for sharing. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And then
All right. Any
so that was
other
Ted
thoughts?
Lasso. Yeah, no, nothing else for me.
Yeah.
I just watched The Last of Us. Like right before while you were watching Ted Lasso, I watched The Last of Us.
Yeah. Sick finale, right?
So good, dude.
And
Oh
more
my
worth than
gosh.
one.
It was a banger. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you remember the end and all that from the game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember
Yeah.
telling Jackie
So,
last week, I was like, so the ending, right? It's just gonna be this mad fucking shootout. And then it was. And then I went back on YouTube and watched a clip of like the end of the video game. Dude,
yeah.
shot for shot, amazing remake. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I can give a little rundown real quick.
Yeah, give us a rundown.
So we have the season finale of The Last of Us. And so we find Ellie and Joel making their way to Salt Lake City. You think, as they're just wandering the roads going to Salt Lake. Um, Joel asks Ellie basically like, "Hey, we can stop this and go to Tommy's house and we can live a life, nice, relaxing life." And Ellie doesn't want to do it. She basically says, "We came all this way. What is this for if we don't finish it through?" So they go, and then they get in Salt Lake City, and you see like a little Firefly logo. And then, she starts reading jokes, and you're like, I kept thinking clickers were going to come out, but um, little people creeping on them, little flashbang, wake up, and Joel's in a different room. Well, Joel gets gunned with the butt of a gun,
Oh,
and they take Ellie. Joel separate them. Basically, Joel wakes up. Marlene's there, wondering how they survived all the way. She lost a bunch of men, but I was also wondering how she survived as well.
yeah.
It's so hard. Um, and then she tells Joel, like, hey, we're gonna kill her. We did get, sorry, skip. We did get the origin story first of
Yeah, yeah.
how Ellie was born. So you see Ellie's mom, who was played by Alicia Johnson, I think is her name. She was the voice of Ellie in the video game. She
That's
looked
right.
like Ellie.
Yep.
Really good casting. But she's running from clickers, goes into a house, gives birth to Ellie. You look down and you see she's been bit after she kills the clicker, and she proceeds to cut the umbilical cord. And Marlene shows up and with some friends, and you find out Marlene's been like really good friends with the mom and begs her to take baby Ellie and come back in and kill her. And Marlene, you know, was hesitant, but then she takes the baby outside and then comes back in and shanks her like just no remorse. It's like, all
Yeah.
right.
As pops her. Yeah. I love how she told the guy, she's like, cover the baby's ears. And then like
Yeah,
she shoots him and the baby starts crying. It's like, you dick. They cover her
you didn't
ears.
cover the ears.
Yeah.
So we get the basically Ellie origin story of how she's immune. She was like still attached to the mom's umbilical cord when the clicker bit her mother.
Which
Um,
is not canon to the video game, so this is all
Correct.
new. Yeah.
This is Yeah. There's no backstory right to the video
Yeah.
game with the mom or how that happened. So, we're going back to Salt Lake City. Joel wakes up. Marlene's there. They're talking. She tells Joel that Ellie's gonna basically have her brain removed to provide a cure, and that Marlene, it was the toughest decision she's had to make because she knew the mom and all that. I've got some questions later on, but so they're like, Joel, we're gonna drop you off. We're gonna let you go. Here's your backpack. We're gonna drop you off. Two guards lead him out to the stairwell, and he just starts doing more, more like secret agent stuff.
Yeah.
Kills the two guards, proceeds to go through the hospital to try to find Ellie. And like as he was walking through, he looked at like I think it was like pediatric surgery on the
Yeah.
wall. So
It's like, it's like a directory. He's like, oh, okay, it's
yeah,
on level 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he basically, as you said, this is like for like to the finale of the game.
Yep.
He's trying to find Ellie, kills everybody in his way. The flashing, the sound of the bullets dropping, changing guns as he goes through, like picking up
Dude.
new guns. It's so video game like. It's just like any like Call of Duty or anything, and you're shooting somebody, and then you find a better gun, and you pick it
Yeah.
up, and so he's just going through, and he makes his way, kills probably about 12, 15 people.
It was
Makes his
amazing.
way to the operating room. Yeah,
Yeah.
great scene.
Oh, so good. Like there's like little to no like audio. It's just like shells
Yeah,
dropping, little musical
yeah,
shit going on. And he's just like room to room. Amazing. Anyways, yeah.
yeah. No, it was great. Gets to the operating room, and the doctor is in there about to peel the cat back with the scalpel, and Joel's like, "Stop!" And the doctor's like, "Make me," yeah. And Joel's like, "Pop." It's like nurses like, ah. Yeah, it's like we love killing doctors in this show.
Yeah.
So he takes Ellie, um, and drives her out of there. Or actually goes to the garage. Marlene confronts him. Um, Instead of just shooting Joel, like Marlene's like, "Oh, let me have a conversation with the guy that killed like 75 people in my crew."
What's one
And
more on the pile? Yeah.
yeah, they look to put guns down, but Joel secretly doesn't put his gun down and pops Marlene, and basically is like, "I got to kill you because you're going to come looking for us if I leave you alive."
Yeah. She's like, I can go with you. And he's like, yeah, but you're never going to
Yeah,
leave her alone. Fuck you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's then they leave, you know, they're in the garage. There's a bunch of cars charging. They have a nice little network of cars, and he drives. He's driving to back to Tommy's, and Ellie's still out with the anesthesia. She wakes up and asks what happened, and Joel concocts a nice lie about Raiders came in and basically killed everybody, and including Marlene. And Ellie kind of goes back to sleep or rolls back over.
Yeah, it
And
tells
then
her
for some
like
reason,
she's not the only
go ahead.
one. Like there's
Yeah,
multiple like
there's
immune people.
yeah, and that the cure never worked, so they stopped doing it, and you know, or they couldn't. They stopped the experiment. They're trying to find a cure, and
Yeah,
so you
couldn't
know
figure
right
it out.
there, Ellie doesn't believe because like you know she we don't know what was said to her between with Marlene and before the surgery, but you know
Yeah,
she's not believing, and then they they proceed that they have to like park 5 miles outside of town for some reason to walk through the woods, or go on a
truck broke
hike.
down. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
Truck
I think
broke
it
down.
overheated. Yeah, yeah.
They went on a hike, and you know, basically Joel is now comparing her to Sarah, his daughter, and he's bringing along games, and or was the Boggle? No, I think the Boggle was the beginning, but
Yeah, it was the
he's
beginning. Yeah.
comparing everything to Sarah, um, and then they get to outside of Tommy's town, and Ellie starts asking questions, and like, "Are you telling me the truth?" Like basically swear to me, and he says like, "I swear to you," and that's it.
She says okay, and then boom, roll credits. Yeah.
And you know she doesn't believe it, and I'm sure like next season two is going to be like, Joel, are you sure? Can you tell me more about that day? Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
start pressing them for details.
It was such a good ending. It was just like the video game. As soon as she said okay, like you could still tell she didn't believe him, even though she said okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as she like said that, I looked over and it ended. I looked over Jackie and I was like, yeah, Joel was never supposed to be a perfect protagonist. Even in the video game, he like never made the right choices. He always like even this, like he did it for his own reasons. I mean, he didn't want to lose her, but like versus saving the world, Joel's never been a perfect protagonist, and I love it.
Well, in Joel's head, the world is already gone, right?
Yeah,
So, I think, I mean, that's the beauty of the story. There's in this world, so the monsters, we are the monsters. So you kept saying all season the stational weapon line that everybody's a monster. They're a monster to survive, except for Bill and Frank.
yeah,
I mean, Bill and Frank like went proceeded to live their lives, and they had their place, and they defended their place. But like, it's still everybody has choices to make, and it's in this dystopian future. There's no like right or wrong, like moral. What's morally right or wrong, right? So,
yep,
um, you know, when Joel makes like what would be a selfish choice to save, let's say, Ellie versus saving the world, right? Because in his mind, the world is gone, and he would rather have like his replacement daughter with him to raise her. But in reality, I mean, there's some questions I have about the procedure.
yeah.
You know, what if they cut into her, it doesn't work, and what do you do then, right? So it's kind of like there's no good choice. So I relate it back
Yeah.
to like the moral philosophy question. It came up in The Good Place. It's called the trolley problem, and it's you have a trolley go down a track, and there's no brakes, and there's it splits off into two tracks, and on one track is five construction workers that you don't know, and the other track is your friend. Which track do you choose to go down? Because you either kill five people or kill one person. So what's the right choice?
Right.
There's no
Just
you
there's
can
no easy
explain your
choice.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can explain why you did it, like, well, I killed my friend because it was just one person, or I killed the five people because I wanted to save my friend.
Yep.
But neither of those choices is right or wrong, because
Yep.
you can justify either of those choices.
Yep.
So, I mean, all day I think Joel can justify, well, I took her because, was that doctor even really a doctor? Like, what was what was he gonna do? Do they have the facilities to like create a cure out of that? We know Ellie rubbed her blood on Henry and it didn't work. So like, do they have a lab where like they're producing vaccines? So I mean,
The doctor could have been a wacko, cut her open, drained her blood, and then just bathed in it and be like, I'm immune, I'm immune. And it's like, oh, it doesn't work like that, jackass. Like, yeah, is he a real doctor? I mean, it's a
it's
great
really it's really the burnt cannibal like from last episode.
yeah.
So uh,
No, it's a great question around like, I mean, so the Fireflies discover the cure. Are they gonna give it to Fedra? Fuck no, they're not. Right? They're gonna give it to their people because they want to have control. Is the world any different than when it was before like the outbreak? And the answer is no. And so to Joel, the world's no different. So fuck that. I'm gonna do what I think is right and what's best for this girl who I look at now as a surrogate daughter. So yeah, she's too young to really understand it at the moment. So he's just gonna do what he thinks is right. And it was a bloodbath. And I'm sure that's not it's not the first time he's gone through a whole building and wiped people out.
yeah, and I mean, you don't see if Ellie got a choice or not, right?
Exactly.
I mean, they're like, hey, we're gonna put you under, and we're gonna get a cure because you're immune. But we don't know if they explain like this could kill you. What goes on? And all Ellie knows is she's immune and she could help the world. So in her eyes, she wants to do that.
Yep.
But the choice that she makes is a little tainted because if she knew that like there'd be a chance she would die, would she make that choice? And no parent or surrogate parent would let their kid it's like it's a teen girl dad. I'm not gonna let you don't you're not gonna let anything happen to your kid that you can control.
Right.
So it's interesting. I got a question too about Marlene, right? So when in episode 7 with Riley, Ellie Riley mentions the Fireflies and she said, I'm waiting here for Marlene. And she said, I asked Marlene if she could go with, and she said no or whatever. Like, if Marlene promised her mom to take care of her, she just like drop her off with Fedra and then leave her there for 13 years, 14 years. Like, it doesn't seem that Ellie knows who Marlene is.
Yeah, the history that Marlene has, like
Yeah.
to Ellie and indirectly her mom. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I thought the same thing. It's like, okay, like Marlene was there when she was born, and then she just drops her at like Fedra daycare and just takes
Yeah.
off. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like creates the Fireflies, and she's like picking out like girls that she wants to like have join the Fireflies, and she's like, oh, I'll take Riley, but I'm not taking Ellie, who I
Yeah.
have all this history with. She's better in Fedra hands. No way, dude.
Yeah, especially if, they were some kind of, the Fireflies were active, if they're active when the mom, was killed, or
Yeah.
if she doesn't like the Fedra, why would she leave Ellie with her unless they were captured or something and they kept the baby and Marlene. Well, Marlene's in the QZ in Boston. So like,
Yeah.
and where was Ellie? Or Ellie but Marlene has Ellie captive, chained up in the beginning. Like they act like
Yeah.
they didn't know each other. So
Yeah. What the
there's some
see,
confusing points with me in with Ellie and Marlene
melted my
because
brain. Yeah.
yeah. So I started thinking about that and I started thinking back to uh that and so unless Ellie goes seeking Marlene just because she knows that name from Riley. So
Yeah. Well, it's like,
But I
yeah,
mean, it is.
she's like gonna pull Riley out, and then like when she goes to like get Riley the next day from the mall, right? Because that's her like station. And then she like walks
That
in and like Riley's dad and like Ellie's like been bitten, and she's like, all right, we got to chain this bitch up. I don't know who this is, but we got to chain her up and we got to see if she still is alive in like 2 weeks. What?
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, I think we need a little more explanation on that. But
Yeah. We might see it in season 2. Who knows? Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I think it'd be really interesting to see where we go in season 2. Did you
Yeah.
play the whole second game?
No, no, I
The
haven't played the
second
second
game.
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the second game?
No, but my buddy Tony, who we went to New Orleans with, has it and has always offered to let me borrow it and play it. So I am going to take him up on that now that the first season's over, and play it. Yeah.
Yeah, let me play it after you. I still have to finish the first game.
Oh, dude, yeah, you got to finish the first game. So good. It is cool though, because like in this episode, Joel's talking about getting a guitar and like teaching her how to play. That's like a huge like Easter egg to the second video game.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Oh,
it's real. I'll have to send you a clip. There's parts where she's like playing the guitar the second game, and you can play it as her. And I've seen all these clips of people playing like Hotel California, like "Wish You Were Here"
wow.
by Pink Floyd, like cool shit. So that'll come in this season too. Yeah,
Nice.
but
Um, yeah,
hell of a hell of a finale.
yeah. No, super duper finale. Great season of TV. Even like when episodes, like to me, episode 7 was like probably the weakest one for me,
Yeah.
but it was still good. I mean, it was still well done. I was talking to some a friend of mine who was saying that, and I thought this was a good explanation. Episode 7 was too much like a like Stranger Things episode.
Oh yeah, the
They're
mall.
in the mall,
Yeah.
and it's just like it was very Stranger Thingsy versus the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about it that way until he said it, and I was like, that makes sense because it was kind of like that, especially that episode that takes place in the mall, and
Yeah.
it's just there's big bad waiting around the corner like
Yeah.
the
It's just
entire time, so something's gonna happen.
it's like somebody who's been raised without like arcade games like 11 from Stranger Things, and then you drop them in a mall where they've never been.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, a carousel, oh, an arcade. Like
yeah,
I've heard of Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, like just incredibly naive people thrown into like these things that of course we fucking know everything about, like
yeah,
because we've
yeah.
got it. But I agree. Definitely the weaker of the episodes. But seems like every other episode was great in its own regard.
But you don't think like in federal school and all the schools are not learning like history or things that were going on back then? Like, I mean, because in this she didn't know what an escal like how to ride an escalator. Ellie didn't
Yeah.
in the season. She didn't know like about anything, right? And you think even I mean, we don't have horse and buggies, but I know how a horse and buggy works, right? You see it and you read about it or you learn. I don't know. It just seems interesting. What I would love to see what they learn in federal school. Probably more murder and how to
Probably.
diagnose a bite and when they're going to turn and
What's the first step in when you come across somebody with a bite? Do you bandage it? No, you just kill them. Got it. Yeah. It's like day one class.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you would think in federal
What?
school, like they would have like a little arcade room because they have to have rec time. I mean, she has a Walkman. Like you telling me they haven't pulled
Yeah.
Pac-Man out of somewhere and like hooked that fucking thing up?
Yeah. Yeah. True. True.
Yeah. But
Um, if if you so with the entire season, what was one thing that you would have liked to seen more or less of or different?
oh, more clickers for sure.
So that's where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we got like a front loaded heavy, and not even really that heavy, but you know, the first couple episodes, and then episode of the Kansas City episode with all them coming out of the ground,
Yeah.
and then one in 7 and one in this one in the flashback scene. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
that was it. It's like, is the is the fungus outbreak really that much of a threat 20 years later, right? In terms of a
Yeah.
global, right, epidemic, pandemic, versus it's a transition of, yeah, they were bad at first, and in reality, humans are really the problem. It's just a transition of who the real villain is in this show, I think.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen more clickers.
Yeah. I think that's the same for me but I think it's the more, and it may be different in the second video game, the second, third season of the show, but I think could have used more. But they did. I was listening to Druckmann and Craig Mazin talk about the season. And they were like, on a video game, you're going to have 100+ kills in our video game. And depends on how you play. If you avoid them or kill, clickers and people, but video game, you're going to have lots of kills because you're
Yeah,
not just going to be walking around
right.
with nothing. But in a show, you can't just kill 100 people,
Yeah. It's
and
just
even
a
though they tried to
bloodbath for
kill
like
100,
10 episodes.
they kind of tried to kill 100 people in this episode.
Yeah, he got
uh,
pretty close. Yeah.
but yeah, so it was interesting here to talk about that. So that makes sense. But I think it almost, I think the real story is that humans are the main threat to other humans versus viruses versus everything else, and that's what you have here. The 20 years down the road, probably most of the clickers and the zombie mushrooms are the least of the threat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's be honest.
So
Ever since they made it up to like ever since they left Kansas City, have we even seen a single clicker outside of flashbacks? Like there's nothing out west.
no, we haven't seen any but flashbacks because there
So
was a flashback in 7 and Ellie and Riley's story, and then the flashback in the final in 9.
yeah. So like more populous areas I get, but like even Salt Lake City, there was nothing. I just expected more, but that was my takeaway from it.
Well, yeah, and then like, how many people are left in this world, and do we know? Right? I mean, it would think in a city like Salt Lake City, they get in there. There's no QZ. There's no people milling about. Um, it would be interesting to see, like, and maybe you'll see more in the next season, but like a heat map of where people are in
Yeah,
this
for sure.
universe.
Yeah.
But because I mean, I would think you would more. I don't know. I would more probably try to, make my way up to like the 10th floor of a building and set up camp there. But then you've got to go through, try to get food versus being out in the open. Unless you have
Yeah.
like Tommy's town in Wyoming, where you've got like a whole fortress
Yeah.
surrounding the town, right? So
True.
J-hole, you
Well,
build a
it's like take over like the 10th floor of the building, right? And only one way in and out, and then just make the entire roof like a garden. And just
yeah.
live that way. I don't know, but that's just me.
Well, even
Um,
in like Salt Lake City, the giraffes are milling about, and there's greenery everywhere. Like,
Clickers ain't taking over the draft, so clearly, like it's pretty safe to live, minus the fireflies, of course. But I was wrong when we first started talking about the show several episodes back. But I think I was like, I remember there being giraffes in Boston and all the shit or somewhere, right? And like it's true, they were later in the game, so it was Salt Lake City. So it was cool that they did bring that element in. And I like that I read an article they used a real giraffe, so it was like no CGI, it was all real. So it was a really cool nod to the video game, of course.
yeah,
But I need
yeah. Do
more
you think
clickers.
Joel?
I need more bloaters.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're probably going to get less and less unless she goes out to like Los Angeles or something, and
Yeah.
a heavily populated area, and there's still, you know, mushrooms floating around.
Fungus Jimmy Kimmel still calling the Oscars. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't know what happens in the Sega video game. So, does she keep going? Does she stay up in the Northwest? But let's go check out Toronto. It's cold up there. Like, can the fungus survive in the cold like that? So let's check that out.
Pretty controversial, is what I was hearing about,
Yeah.
which I'm assuming I think I know why. But um, so we'll see. But that was the more popular game, right? I think that was the consider the better
Oh yeah.
one from what I heard. But um, yeah. So what do you think Joel made the right decision?
Yeah. Is there
I
any
mean, I think
saving
from
this world? Like,
well, I think you see in any dystopian future kind of thing, there's really no like going back or back to the way it used to be. I mean, you
yeah.
can create little micro communities and little pockets of stuff, but you're not going to get back to the previous way of life. So,
No.
uh,
In
I
the
mean,
time span that like the Fireflies think that they're going to operate in, it never works that way. It's going to take 100+ years in order to
yep,
maybe get back to any sort of like relevancy. Yeah.
yeah, and I think you have like maybe natural immunity, or as people begin to live in that world, they become. Especially, I think in the video game, it's like airborne spores. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
once people start to get you know used to those, or the body starts to develop things to fight off. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think as far as viewers, he made the right choice because he's our protagonist, even if he's not a good one.
Yep.
um but yeah, it's in dystopian worlds, and when you don't have many people left, like you're trying to survive, and you make choices for yourself and your family.
Hey,
So
page right out of Father David's book. Fucking cannibal, fucking prophet living up in wherever he was.
no,
Psycho.
his
Yeah.
his choices for his family is like medium rare, or well done.
Crispy, extra crispy. Yeah, like oh
Yeah, we
my
got we
god.
got new we got a crispy fried chicken. A little gamey,
Yeah,
but
it's a little lean. There hasn't been a lot to eat these
it
last couple of days. Yeah.
it's Soylent Green. Soylent Green is people. Sorry.
Oh man. But
But man, I'm loving Pedro Pascal. I'm loving Bella Ramsey. I mean, we talked about early on in the show how even Frank, I mean Armand, Murray Bartlett, and
yep.
Nick Offerman, and some of the other kind of guest actors, and Melanie Linsky was just master acting class. But I think as the season went on, you got the whole season. I mean, Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey is just amazing. And I was watching clips of Bella Ramsey as the North, I forget which house in the House of the Dragon, but her as I think she was a Mormont, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Lady Mormont. I forget her first name, but
Yep.
watching like her speeches, like and then her fighting, like the when winter came, and it's just like a little badass. She's such a good actress. It's
Dude, yeah.
amazing. So, and Pascal is so hot right now.
Oh, his stock is so high. Slutty daddy,
It's like,
like
it, is he Hansel? He's so hot right now.
dude, it's so cool. Guy that I met in Naples works in Los Angeles in audiovisual stuff, and he was working the red carpet for the Oscars and was managed
That's
to take
great.
a picture with like Pedro Pascal in the background. Pascal, dude, is crushing it right now. I mean, I bet he's got people lining up with scripts to get him in anything.
Yeah, yeah. I watched him on Saturday Night Live too. He did really well. It was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
So, um, but yeah. Any other thoughts on The Last of Us?
No, can't wait for next season. I mean, next season is going to be controversial. I don't think we need to go into why just yet, but it'll
Yeah,
be good. Loving the show. It's going to be tough. I'm sure Pedro Pascal is going to win an Emmy for best lead in a drama if he could beat out Succession. And then Murray Bartlett or Nick Offerman are gonna like win or co-win an Emmy for best guest star or like supporting actor in a drama. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that episode's going to win awards left and right.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing else for me for Last of Us, but I'm excited. I mean, this has become a flagship show for HBO, and it's two other flagship shows are leaving us in the next 2 months, 3 months. So
Yep.
Barry and
Succession.
Succession. So
Yep.
we need good content. We need tent to keep going. So
Yep.
HBO does such a good job. Um,
Got to get on that Perry Mason train.
I know I almost watched it the other day, but I told you I was rewatching Succession, and so if you haven't seen Succession and you've made it this far in the podcast and you're still listening to me, uh, I had many people tell me that they didn't make it past the first like 3 or 4 episodes because they didn't like it.
Blasphemous.
Keep through, keep it was Succession. Sorry, it was Succession.
Yeah.
Keep going because I think it's starting episode 5 or 6 of season 1. It takes off like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Every episode after that becomes really good. And I say this after rewatching. I'm like into episode 6 or 7 of the first season again, and the first like 2 or 3 episodes are kind of janky, and just looking back on what it's become.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I mean,
don't forget,
it's still good, but
in the pilot, Roman has like a wife and a kid, and then after episode 1, they just like fucking disappear. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking, I was watching that, I was like, go play with your cousin, and like, uh, Kendall's kids would go and play with Roman's daughter that's sitting there on the stairs, and then you're like, then she never to hear from again.
Yeah.
So they like yada yada over it, and but
Straight out of the
yeah,
Alex
it's
Murdaugh playbook, they just disappear. Yeah. Yeah.
too soon. So,
Oof. Yeah. But yeah, it's like Parks and Rec. You have to get through the first couple of episodes, and then it just turns into a banger. You gotta. It's a slow burn, but you got to get through it because it's a great show.
Yeah, to me, Parks and Rec. Even the first few episodes of Office were okay as they found their footing, but Parks and Rec, the first season, is not very good in my eyes either. So you just got to get through the growing pains, I think, of some of these shows.
Definitely.
But one show, that you recommended that I watched, didn't have any growing pains. The Bear. I finished The Bear over the weekend, and that was mind-blowing start to finish. I tried to get Blanca to watch The Bear because I was like, you gotta watch it, it's so good. So we sat down to watch it was like we're going to bed or something. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, are you good for 30-minute show? Yeah. About 3 minutes into the first episode of The Bear, she's like, turn this off. I'm like, what? She's like, it's too intense for me right before bed. Yeah, like, and it's like Cocaine Bear, like what I imagine the movie is. I haven't seen it, but it's like it's just a like
yeah, it's
they're
orchestrated chaos. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was really good. So I in the like 2 cameos by John Bernthal as his brother.
Amazing.
Like,
yeah.
I wish he was in the show too, because I love him. Like, I used to hate him on, I think it was Shane on Walking Dead. Like,
Walking Dead.
I hate Shane. And then watching him in We Own the City, like with this Baltimore accent, like it's so fucking good. And then I was like, I love John Barthol, but
dude, yeah.
And then
so
what else? There's one other show I wanted to mention that I watched, and now I'm blanking out. But yeah, The Bear, highly recommend.
The Bear, so good. Don't want to alarm you, but we dropped a bottle of Valium in the Kool-Aid, and now all the kids are passed out. Are they dead? No, I think they're just sleeping. Oh, I like it better this way.
Yeah, and there's a reason why you make the family spaghetti.
Yeah, there's a reason. God, that was an amazing show. It was, amazing performance, Jeremy Allen White. They're going to do a season 2, so we might get more John Bernthal, but his stock changed after The Walking Dead. I mean, he started doing so much other stuff, and then for me, Wolf of Wall Street was when he just took off like a rocket. Yeah.
I want Jeremy Allen White's hair because his hair was like
Oh,
that in Shameless too, and it's
it's
just
glorious.
he's like he's like one of my favorites. Like I really liked him in Shameless, and I really liked him in The Bear. So I'm gonna start watching everything that he's in. So
Yep, definitely.
well, we've been about an hour. So anything else want to talk about?
No, any
Do
final
we have
thoughts from
a
your side?
book check of my book corner? I
Yeah.
finished my third book. I finished my third book.
What'd you read?
So I did, The World Without Us, which I
Yep.
gave you. Then I read The Forever War, the 1974 Nebula winner that you gave me.
Love it.
And then I finished Neuromancer, the
Oh,
1976 uh, Nebula Award for science fiction by William Gibson. It was The Forever War was a lot easier for me to understand than Neuromancer, but once I finished it and I read some synopsis about it, like I understood it because there's some
nice.
parts where you can't. It's all about like they call it jacking in and out of the matrix.
Yeah.
So, and you're like, wait, where are we in the matrix? Are we out? Like, but there's two other books. It's called the Spawn trilogy, and it's like zero code or something. I ordered the second book. I bought two William Gibson books when I was at Barnes and Noble, Neuromancer, and then Mona Lisa Overdrive, which
Hmm.
is the third book in the Spawn trilogy. And the second book I just ordered off of Amazon, so I need to. I don't like to read out of order, so I
Yeah.
gotta kind of wait till that comes in tomorrow. But um, that one's called Count Zero, so the second one.
Ah,
So
which I think also won a
so three
Nebula
full
Award
books.
like a couple of years later. It was at least nominated. Yeah.
No, it was nominated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's good. So you can borrow any of them if you want. But
Hell yeah.
still doing my reading 30 minutes a night, and I've completed 3 books in 3 weeks now.
Nice.
So
I just started
yeah,
the Three Body Problem, which was it's a sci-fi book, but it was written in Chinese, and it's only like it can't be more than 10 years old. I think they're developing a Netflix series about it, but it was like groundbreaking. Like because think about how many sci-fi books are non-American written. It's not many.
yeah,
I mean, it's gotten more these days, but like the first one that broke the barrier was Solaris. I think it was Swedish. So like
yeah,
uh just started the Three Body Problem. It's a 3 book trilogy, and it's supposedly like amazing. It won the Hugo Award, which is similar to the Nebula, for the first book. So I'm just crushing that.
nice. Yeah, and the William Gibson was British as well, so they
Nice.
did. He also wrote Johnny Mnemonic, which became a movie.
We talked about
Um,
that. Fuck yeah.
yeah, we did. Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read all his books, so I need
Do it, man. Yeah.
but yeah, so still doing a little reading.
Nice.
So actually, when we get off here, I need to read 30 minutes. So
Nice.
before I
I'm
crash.
I'm gonna watch the Texas A&M Penn State March Madness game. If A&M wins, then that means they go in to face TU, which is Austin. So
The
we'll
tea
see how that
sippers beat
goes.
the toothpaste people.
They did
Did
they
the tea
did beat the
sippers beat the
Colgate.
toothpaste people, right?
Yeah, the Fresh Breath Colgate University. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, U of H is only winning 26-20.
it's been pretty
Come
close.
on, Cougars.
Yeah, Northern Kentucky's had the lead for a while, like the first 10 minutes. So that'll be one to watch.
Mm.
But yeah, anything else?
No, nothing for me. I'm just gonna go read and go to sleep, and hopefully be back in Houston soon.
Nice. Hopefully we'll see you
So
in the office soon.
yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, no,
Mm,
no.
maybe next week. Next week I'm gonna go on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, but appreciate everybody for joining, kicking it with us this week. Be sure to check us out on podcast, channels, Google Pod, Apple Pod, all the podcasts. Check out our website, kickingitmedia.com. Chuck and I throw up blogs, posts up there every once in a while about, some stuff we see about TV. I'll probably throw something up there about Brendan Fraser. I think that's a good topic. Check out our Instagram at Can We Kick It Pod. You can email us at canwekickitpod1@gmail.com. And as I'll leave it with cousin, as he always likes to say.
Cause peace.